for joining the meeting, the webinar about the BlockSim. This is our second webinar. We did a first one for the other side of the world on Monday. So thanks for attending the one dedicated to your time zone. I'm Massimo Giannessi. Most of you know me. Others you don't know. I'm the director of Accurate, and I will show you today. Will present to you today the BlockSim, both the marketing side and I mean a presentation of the idea and the hands-on side. And with me we have Claudio, so connected.
Hello to everybody. I'm Claudio Gabellini. I'm the Chief Technology Officer.
And on the other side, we have, under the name BlockSim, we have our product specialist Matteo, that for the occasion will be will take care of the camera during the hands-on session. Hi, Ed.
Good
nice
morning,
to see you. Good morning.
Afternoon. Sorry.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes, yes. Where are you? Are you US? No.
Oh, Barcelona.
Ah, Barcelona. Oh, finally. You got there.
Yes.
You got there. Good, good, good. Good. So as I was saying, more people will join, and it's good. We will start. So we can start at the time we said in the email. So one, you know, all of us now, we are all used to do webinars now, no more like April, March. So we will close all your microphones during the presentation and the hands-on. You can do questions at the end of the first part presentation, and then at the end of the second part that regards the hands-on. If you want to do questions, you can unmute yourself, or even better, you ask question with raising your blue hand on the Zoom panel. So I think this was all for the rules, and we can start. I can start sharing you the presentation. Okay, Zoom, screen sharing. Okay, let me. So, this today we talk about the BlockSim. Yes.
Massimo, we saw both the presentation.
Yes.
Both the screens.
Yes. Okay. Now it's okay, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So, so yes, today we talk about BlockSim. That is our last product, the product that we worked lately. And the BlockSim is an high fidelity system for a simulation of ultrasound-guided interfascial plane blocks. So in order to introduce yourself to the meaning, to the procedure, to the target, I want to tell you that so ultrasound-guided interfascial plane blocks increases patient access to safe opioid-free pain relief and perioperative pain management. So basically, until yesterday, the old anesthesia was done as a full anesthesia. Then the nerve block, has been introduced into the clinical ward in order to be regional anesthesia block, only for specific region. But you know, all these nerves, the nerves are not everywhere, difficult to puncture. So lately, and we are talking about 2018, 2019, we had the increasing usage of interfascial plane blocks. So blocks between fascia layers between muscles. And these blocks are mainly for analgesia, so for pain management after the surgery, but actually lately they became more and more popular for anesthesia, so also during the surgery. And they represent a totally new route to transmit the local anesthetic to the various anatomical locations. So thanks to the fascia block, you can reach location that you were not able to reach before with the nerve block. For example, a big example is the thoracic area, for example, for breast cancer. Now it's all about regional anesthesia and fascia blocks. In the past, it was total anesthesia. You don't have nerves that can help you over there. So it's a pretty new technique and very difficult to train on. So BlockSim is the only one right now on the market, a unique product to allow the training for ultrasound-guided interfascial plain blocks to anesthesiologists and anesthesia residents. So the target is very, very precise. So it's anesthesia people. Something about BlockSim, some statement I want to tell now, and we'll see later on if I'm right. So BlockSim has been designed to meet the training needs in the field of ultrasound-guided regional anesthesia. Basically, thanks to the BlockSim, we go from the visualization of the anatomy of the region of interest to the needle pathway and needle insertion and release of the anesthetic. In fact, in this kind of training, not only hitting the point with the needle is important, but it's also important for the student, for the user to understand the anatomy. Where is puncturing? What are these layers? So basically, the BlockSim is able to visualize real patient data and so give you also these feature. BlockSim will allow you to see the needle, a real needle, passing through the tissues and be able also to inflate the anesthetic in the region of interest and see the distribution of anesthetic in that region. Also, this part is difficult to simulate with other products or other solutions because usually it's difficult to let something be punctured and be filled by liquid unless it's a vessel, and so it's something that then you can drain away. BlockSim software also is a software that can visualize more than one case. We have now 9 different clinical cases, basically representing 9 different fascia blocks, interfascial plain blocks. Also, BlockSim gives you the possibility to have a score, to be judged by automatically by the system. This is a tendency that is more and more frequent in the simulation world. So basically, the user can auto-evaluate himself at the end of the procedure. A little bit of background on the fascia, interfascial plain blocks. Basically, instead of identifying a precise nerve location with the predictable effects of local anesthetic, with the fascial blocks, what we do, we inject the anesthetics, then goes down through the layers of the muscles and reach different regions of the body. So this article was a little bit skeptical in 2019. So we are talking about late things that are very, very close to us. They said nerve block is like to have a sniper rifle. Instead, interfascial plain blocks is like to have a shotgun. So is it good? Is it bad? But actually, it's the only way to get some target. What is fascia? A little bit of anatomy for me and for you. So fascia blocks, fascia is, there are layers between muscles and is loose and dense fibrous connective tissue. And the most important thing is that it extends through the whole body. That's why the interfascial plain blocks are getting more and more success, because you can reach regions that you cannot reach in different ways. The transmission is very easy. It's easy to understand, because basically you inject the local anesthetic, and through the compression between layers, it goes and it reaches the plane through a potential spaces, basically. So opening the muscles. That's the way the local anesthetic goes in particular region of our body, and that's the way the anesthesiologists, they anesthetize a particular region of our body. So what we can say so far, this was taken from a very nice presentation that I got online. Was concept in fascial plane blocks. You can see the reference in the top left corner. And they said, okay, not all the fascial plane blocks are equal. And this is also important for to understand our BlockSim. Not all fascial plane blocks work in the same way. So some of them, they open layers. Some of them, they open a region. Also, fascial plane blocks have a variable efficacy, and that is more important in the physician, in the clinical environment. And in particular, what brought to us to start thinking about a simulator like that is identifying the correct plane is not always easy. And that's where the trainee need to train on. So the milestone in literature for interfascial plane blocks is this article called Interfascial Plane Blocks Back to Basics. In this article, basically, they are saying that ultrasound-guided interfascial plane blocks are recent development in modern regional anesthesia research and practice and represent a new route of transmission for local anesthetic to various anatomic locations. And what they're saying in the conclusion is a deeper understanding of the fascial tissue anatomy, structure, as well as precise targets to needle placement is required. So when we discovered this article, we had all the information we needed to be pumped to build a simulator and to get them better understand all these parts they were stating in the article. So here are the article that I put in the presentation, because actually the presentation will be on the distributor portal within the end of this week. So you can get that and see parts that you have missed. So we started looking at the market and the background. And as some of you knows very well, on the market we have, for regional anesthesia, we have only some CAE/Blue Phantom products that allows the user to inject liquid in a particular part of the trainer, and with the real ultrasound machine, you can see the injection and the point where they injected. By the way, I want to underline some points. First of all these mannequins are only for nerve blocks, okay? So we are not talking about interfascial plane blocks, but only nerve blocks. So femoral, sciatic, epidural, central, only nerve blocks. Second point, all these mannequins, they have a cost, of course, 5,000, 6,000, depending, but they have an insert that basically is almost the cost of the entire simulator, because actually the rest of the simulator is foam, plastic, and that insert instead is the insert with the texture that allows the ultrasound probe to be to see inside. But these inserts, they don't last forever. Actually, you know, CAE says that they last for 1,000 punctures, but I bet you if you try to be the 100 student, you will not see the same anatomy as you are the first student. So they get damaged a long time and then they last and you need to replace them. Third, they never change. So when you get the replacement, it will be the same block and the same body and the same patient. Fourth, you don't have the same anatomy, you don't have the real anatomy. So you don't have this plastic reproducing very well the anatomy, but it's not the real anatomy. So something can look a little bit different. Then you always, then you don't have any way to auto-evaluate the user or to evaluate the user objectively. So basically what you know from the probe, from the ultrasound screen is that you are injecting in the right position, but what you don't know is how many times he tried to inject, how many times he entered with the syringe inside the insert. if he moved inside the inserts up and down, and so he creates damages. So all this information you will never have as an instructor, and so you cannot judge properly the student. So starting from all these points, we started with our knowing more about this kind of interfascial plane blocks and understanding better how to build a simulator. So we wanted the simulator for regional anesthesia interfascial plane blocks to be used by anesthesiologists. We wanted a simulator not affected by the number of needle punctures. So we tried to build a pad, an insert tissue, as much resistance as possible. We didn't care about ultrasound compatibility. We cared more about be resistant. Also, we needed something unique. So as an interfascial plane block simulator, including several scenarios. We didn't want to rely only on one scenario and so do one body shape and be stuck with one scenario. And then give something to the user that is able to collect the data and maybe analyze the data in the future regarding the procedure done by the student. So we started looking at potential markets and as to competitors. As I said in my previous email and in the 2020 at AMSH, we launched the first version of BlockSim that now actually is fully completed. Now, who I need to talk with about the BlockSim? Specialties, anesthesiologists, physicians, and residents, and in particular for skill training, so to increase the skill of understanding the anatomy and injecting, and then somehow hidden somewhere can be used also for high fidelity simulation. So now we are concentrating on anesthesia, and actually I'm not feeling bad because actually, as we all know, anesthesia people are the one more present into our simulation centers. Key markets, medical schools, clinical skills centers, simulation centers, postgraduate and teaching hospitals. I think that all these can be reached and met in order to present the simulator. And some unique selling points. First of all, unique by itself is a interfascial plane blocks. There is no other on the market. So just you don't have any competitor. We have 9 different regional anesthesia interfascial blocks in one simulators. We have ultra durable pads, and I will show you later on why I say I can state that are ultra durable. Then we have a scoring system and a user management system, so you can actually manage your class and manage the exercise. And actually, something very important, you can use real single shot needles. Why I'm saying is important, you have medical device company on the market that maybe want them to use their own needle for workshops. They want to do workshops into hospital, to simulation center. Thanks to this simulator that you can maybe rent inside your region if you want, you can present it to them and they can be maybe interested. Just for you, it's just a news from today. I've got a meeting with B. Braun, that is a German company, but is an international company, because actually they want for Italy to have multiple courses around Italy, and they're thinking to buy the simulator for themselves. So that is another strategy of selling to industry instead of the end user only. Collaboration. We collaborated with 2 universities in Italy, mainly with Sapienza. Roma is one of the main universities we have in Italy, and one is University of L'Aquila. From these 2 universities comes 2 of the greatest KOLs, European KOLs in interfascial plane blocks. And actually these, we have got a couple of videos of them stating the importance of interfascial plane blocks of the BlockSim on our distributor portal. So if you want, you can go there and download these, these 2 speech, 1-minute speech. Now, a little bit of product overview, and then, as you know, we'll go hands-on on the simulator. So first of all, one picture on the right is the BlockSim main box, the black box with a linear ultrasound probe. You can see the real needle put on the tissue insert, and then a tissue insert. So now you will see it and say, hey, Massimo, it doesn't look like a human body. So yes, I do understand, but there is a trick in the software, and you will see it. So how it looks like a workstation for with an insert that you can actually puncture, and you have sensors like in the, not on the needle, but where you have the needle, you have sensor where you have the probe, and you have the possibility to scan that area and to puncture that area. We will see it later. Everything, so probe, needle, the pads, actually the tissue insert are 3, plus the machine, plus the box, are all inside the transport box that actually, like the latest BlockSim box, is an IP 67 case, transport case that you can even fly with it, and easy to transport around. This is how it looks like the whole setup. So with the BlockSim, you actually will get the computer, and you will get also the monitor and on the computer has been installed the BlockSim software and the BlockSim instructor interface. On the monitor, you have the user interface. So basically, you are able to also to move around the monitor, to move around the computer, and so to let the user work only on this interface and the instructor to be covered, because these are separated on 2 devices. Now, we are working on a new price list that will allow you even to choose between BlockSim with computer plus monitor, or BlockSim with computer only, or even BlockSim with no computer and no monitor, and then we will send you the file to download and to install on a computer that you will buy based on minimal requirements that are included in the user manual. Okay, so we are doing it because we see, of course, you can buy your computer, you can have your own warranty in your country, you have your keyboard, is it maybe less expensive, and in this way we are more free also to ship in different countries our products. It takes a little bit of effort from our side, but we are already there, so we can do it now. About the tissue inserts, the BlockSim simulator has got 3 different tissue inserts. So a little bit about number, 3 tissue inserts, 9 different, for 9 different anesthesia regional blocks. So it means that some tissue inserts, they can be used for more different type of blocks. The tissue inserts are named by pad A, pad B, and pad C. And the pad A cover the abdominal tissue, is the abdominal tissue insert, and cover the transversus abdominis plane, that is called usually TAP, the quadratus lumborum plane, that is called usually QLB, and the lumbar block, that is the lumbar block. Then we have the pad B that, let me move you around. Pad B, that is the pectoralis tissue insert for parasternal, for ESP block, for pectoralis, for PEX 1 and PEX 2, so pectoralis nerve blocks, and the serratus plane blocks. So this block basically is different from the pad A because inside we have got bones, fake bones that you can actually feel. The pad C instead has got inside a spinal cord, and in fact is called spinal tissue insert, and is for paravertebral block. So it's only for 1 block. So with all these 3 pads, you cover all the blocks that you need to do, all the thoracic and abdominal blocks, and all 3 are made by these ultra durable tissue. Now, this is how the instructor interface, so what is installed on the computer looks like. And so the instructor is able to manage classes, to decide between a student and teachers, relations, and also you can decide which kind of block you want to simulate, and you can look at the description of the case. And by the way, we'll see it during the hands-on because it will be live. This is another picture from the instructor interface. Instead, this is how it looks like the instructor interface once we decide which case we want to simulate. So on the right side, just to focus for you right now, is what I called the anatomical patient, 3D patient. So basically, in that way, we make the instructor and the user understand where that pad they have in front of them is located on the body of the patient. So in that way, they know that this PEX block, I don't know which block is this one, it should be PEX blocks, is where are you going to puncture. This is instead the user interface. Once you load the case, basically the user on the left side has got the ultrasound picture. You see over there already needle inside and the ultrasound fascia layers visualized. On the right side, you have again the anatomical image of the patient body. We have scenario, we have casebook, and we have scenarios. Basically, for each one of the regional blocks, we have a clinical presentation. We have some demographic data for the patient. So the user can even, the instructor can even introduce the user to a particular case by voice, reading the case together and stuff like that. About the marketing asset we have for you, so we are working on a new catalog. You know that right now the catalog includes only product until lung sim. We are missing BlockSim. We are missing SEL sim, our ECMO simulator. So it will come out and soon, I think in less than a month. And then I will send you the PDF file. And of course, the new PDF file will be put on the distributor portal. If someone new needs also hard copies, let us know and we can prepare them for you. About the channel, we have a YouTube channel where we loaded the latest video for BlockSim. You have received it already by email, but you can go on our YouTube channel and check for that video as well. Also, the video, you find it on our distributor portal and on our website where we have a dedicated page for the BlockSim. We have a dedicated area for the BlockSim on the distributor portal. And also we are, as much as we can, active on social media, Facebook and LinkedIn mainly, with our simulators. So please share the content when you can. About the BlockSim, as I said before, so we have a video YouTube and we have 2 videos by scientific advisors, Professor Fusco, top left, and Professor Fattorini on the bottom right, from Rome. They work together with us in order to build up the simulator. Distributor portal, for the one that don't go on the distributor portal from a long time, we have a dedicated page for a dedicated area for each one of our product. And for BlockSim, so we have an area with BlockSim marketing material, case books, user manual, and the video presentation. So go there if you want to get all the latest files. Packing list for the BlockSim. So these are what you will get buying the BlockSim from us. So as I said already during this call, you get one main BlockSim main black box with external connections. You get a simulated ultrasound linear probe, similar to the one you already get if you buy the Vowsim from us. You get a regional anesthesia single shot needle. Of course, this is just for starting, okay? Because you can actually use your own needle, a real needle from a client. So you don't need to, the client doesn't need to stick with what we give as an initial needle to start using the simulator. We give the three pads, so pad A, B, and C, so the three different inserts, instructor notebook, and the external LCD display as default, let's say. Then you can choose, if you order, when you order, you can choose between different version with no notebook or no notebook and no LCD display and stuff like that. Then we give everything inside a waterproof IP67 certified transport case for the safety of the simulator. User manual, of course, included. So to conclude, I can say that BlockSim represents the new generation of a regional anesthesia simulator, since it allows the use of real needles, the puncture of extremely realistic tissue inserts, and the inflation of the anesthetic fluid without generating needle tracks or damages. Also, BlockSim is able to provide the opportunity to acquire and practice technical skills in a safe, controlled, and reproducible environment without the risk of harm to the patient and with the capability to be repeatedly used. I read these two statements because I couldn't say better how BlockSim can impact on the anesthesiologist's training, in particular for procedure like this one that are very invasive and difficult to train all of them in only one department, in one hospital. Frequently asked questions, so running cost. I would like to say the inserts, but on the other side, I said almost none, because seriously, the inserts last for thousands and thousands of punctures, and you will see, I don't want to say they last forever, but almost. Casebooks available, and for all the 9 different cases, we have a scenario and data, and the upgrades and update of the software are free of charge, as for all our simulators. You can install it on your own computer, and we give minimal requirements. By the way, standard APC is provided. Of course, you can install the software on different PCs, but anyway, only one PC will work on that simulator at in one moment. How can I update the software? We will send announcement of a new release with the link. You download the link and you install the new software free of charge. So again, about the company, we are ISO certificated. We have filled the CE mark for this product. We have filled the patent request, and we are waiting for the patent confirmation. We have a lead time of 6 or 8 weeks for now, because we don't have any stock left. So this is the time right now. But anyway, we have started producing more machines, so we can get a lower lead time, at least for this kind of product. So that was all for my presentation, and now it's demo time. Before me jumping on the other side of the office with Matteo, if you want, it's time for questions. So if you want to raise your hands and do questions, we can answer about this first part.